10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome back to the channel on a Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, the time that nobody quite understands. Is it in the east? Is it in the west? Is it in the middle? Nobody seems to know where Mountain Time is, but I'm living in it. I've lived in every time zone well, have I really? I've not lived in Newfoundland. I think they're half an hour out. I've lived in Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. So I guess I've lived I've lived in all of them. I've time traveled in my life. But yeah, good to see you all. Hello to Davina and Snorty, who are out there already. Hopefully a few others will join us to say hello as we go, because I don't do these every week, but sometimes it's kind of nice to do the Friday afternoons, flying solo, physical media palooza, and just chat about whatever in general and have a relaxing old time. So I hope you're all having a great Friday. Everyone's kind of going Superman nuts. Every show is about Superman. Every video is about Superman. I don't know if anyone in the chat currently has seen it or not. I haven't seen it yet. It's possible I'll go to see it this weekend because it does sound interesting enough to want to go. As I've said on a number of shows, I'm not exactly near a cinema. There's a tiny little cinema in this town which is attached to a hobby shop, and it's only shows one movie a week, and only certain nights it's on. So often the movies have been out for a long time before they show them here. So in terms of new movies, they are very new. It's a bit of a trek to get to the nearest cinema right now because of domestic things like puppy routines. I'm finding it's a little harder to do these things. It's kind of restricted a little bit of my YouTubing and so on, but I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, not complaining. But yeah, Superman, I will probably see it. Don't think I'll be going to see Fantastic Four, though, which I think is coming out soon. I mean, I actually think I like the look of it in terms of the retro look, but I think everything else about it doesn't appeal to me. So I won't be doing that, but there'll probably be some Korean movies I want to go see. I have to put the puppy in the daycare for half a day. So still, we're having fun. I've never walked so much in years. So bits of me are complaining and other bits are saying, oh, great, look at all that exercise. So, hello. July 25th is Fantastic Four. I don't know what, oh no, it is. The chat is showing up on the screen. There you go. The first little chatette has shown up on the screen from the YouTube side. I don't know if anyone's on Rumble, but if you're watching Rumble, good afternoon. And if you're watching on Twitter, good afternoon. We are going out live there as well. Yeah, so it's been an interesting couple of weeks for the physical media. It's what getting up early in the morning and going to bed late at night is for you. Last 2 weeks ago I did one of these shows and I had a mountain of stuff, and then almost the next day I got another mountain of stuff. because not only did I get a couple of items, not very many, from the thrift store, we have twice a year, we have a local library sale. It's not really so much a sale though, because they just put everything out and say, take what you want and donate what you feel is appropriate to us. And in fact, if you want to leave stuff for other people to take, leave it. So, there's no set price to take the stuff. They used to do that, but now they're just like, well, so I made a small cash donation and came away with huge piles of stuff. So a ton of DVDs. I don't think there was any Blu-rays in this lot, but also a ton of books, because obviously being a library, it has books too. So we'll be going through some of those and showing that stuff off and seeing what everybody thinks. So I guess we might get started. Should we get started, Davina? Shall we do it? Well, before we get started, and I'm sure you've done it already if you click the like button, share the stream out. That would be awfully considerate of you. Not done so much promotion recently because I've been a little bit quieter recently. Start the show and tell. I know, I'm just making you wait. Teasing you. Right, we'll start with the books. So first one off the top of the list. Hang on. Before we do that, just in case I want to highlight any chats. All of these were from the library sale or giveaway, as it was. Who remembers this one? I had a copy of this years ago. And along with a whole load of stuff that I wish I still had, I either got rid of it, or it got lost or stolen or gave away, or in multiple moves around the world, stuff disappeared. Because I had all the Star Wars books. This, of course, is one of the seminal ones with the great Alan Dean Foster, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. This is a 2015 reprint mass market paper book, which unfortunately means it has got the Disney imprint on it. And this has always been a very interesting novel because it was set up to be a sequel to Star Wars if they needed a low-budget filmable story for a sequel, and they didn't have a lot of money. It's really kind of the start of the expanded universe. As it turns out, of course, the Star Wars was hugely successful, so they made The Empire Strikes Back. Didn't use this story. This story is positioned somewhere between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, but it was really nice to pick up a copy of this again in such pristine condition. So I actually am looking forward to reading that again. Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Next, picked up some hockey stuff. First of all, there is a biography of Marc Messier. Strangely enough, called Messier, which I find a really bizarre title for this book. Written by Jeff Zieklein. So I have no idea whether this is a good, bad, or indifferent biography. There's some nice pictures in it, actually. Quite neat pictures. Nice little images. A lot of them with the Rangers. Oh, there it is with the Canucks. So, it could be pretty good. Looking forward to reading that. Going on a plane trip soon, so I'm going to try to be undigitized and take some books, actual books to read. We also have the record-breaking number one bestseller, Gretzky, his teammate. Feel that nice raised. What's the word for that? It's a technical word. Raised. title. It's an autobiography of Wayne Gretzky. Again, a very, very weird name for a book. Messier, book about Messier called Messier, book about Gretzky called Gretzky. Written by Rick Roll Riley. Embossed. Thank you, Davina. It's embossed. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know the word embossed. I couldn't remember it. Greatest athlete of the 20th century. Well, there's a case to be made for that. And was the greatest goal scorer of all time till recently. So it's not the first book about Gretzky I've got, but Splinter of the Mind's Eye is an interesting story, Davina, because it doesn't feature Han Solo or Chewbacca, in fact, because again, with them making it, setting up so it would be the source material for a cheap sequel, Harrison Ford was not yet on board with any potential sequel, so just to keep on the safe side, they wrote Han Solo out of it. Not content with having a book about Gretzky, though. I've got a book about his dad, Walter Gretzky, national spokesperson for the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada, which is interesting. Given that he, obviously it's because he was a stroke survivor himself. I do like that bench he's sitting on because it's made of hockey sticks. So this is a $21 new. Oh. This was obviously donated to the library because look. To Lisa, best wishes, Walter Gretzky. So it's signed. Not to me, but it's signed. Hang on, I better check the other one. No. I just thought maybe this Gretzky one is signed. Never checked the Messier one. You know, sometimes that happens. There's authors who go around signing their books in airports, like Jack Carr does that. So those were the hockey ones. There's a lot of summer reading. It'll take me years to read them because most of the time I read on Kindle now. Mainly because I got to read at night in bed and everybody else is... The missus is sleeping and now the dog is sleeping, so I can't put the light on to read. I got to read my tablet. This is an interesting one I picked up, which I'd never really heard about before. So James Bond's author Ian Fleming. It's Ian Fleming's Thrilling Cities. Nice little hardback. A look behind the scenes of the world's most fabulous places by the creator of James Bond. So he took, on all his travels through working for Reuters and for the London Times and the Naval Intelligence and blah, blah, and so on and so on. And he was on the editorial board of the Sunday Times. He took in an awful lot of cities in his travels in a time when traveling was exotic. So this book itself is written in or compiled from a bunch of articles, essays, I guess you'd call them, 13 essays between 1959 and 1960. And it was published in 1964 as a compilation. So very different world for traveling, and now hell, it was very different when I first started traveling. And the cities, because the cities would be thrilling for a different reason now, not necessarily a good one, a lot of them. The cities that he's covering, and I'm looking forward to reading this because it's a blast from the past. Hong Kong, Macau, Tokyo, Honolulu, Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Los Angeles would look very different now. Chicago, New York, Hamburg, Berlin, Vienna, Geneva, Naples, and Monte Carlo are the cities included. I'm actually looking forward to reading the Hamburg one just to see if he talks about the Reaper ban. The Reaper ban. And I'm opening it now. Oh, and he does. The Poly District, the Reaper ban. Interesting. So, yeah, it could be a very interesting book. Not one you see around very often, Ian Fleming's Thrilling Shitties. This one is one I actually just picked up yesterday at the recycling plant. And it's Robert Heinlein, Grumbles from the Grave, edited by Virginia Heinlein. It's a series of letters, and his wife posthumously, I believe, published these letters in this book. But it's also got an awful lot of stuff about his various stories, novels, and so on. So that, and there's a lot of photographs. Virginia Heinlein, Landscaping at Bonnie Doon. That's a good Scottish name for you. In 1960. Fan mail and other time wasters. So that could be interesting. Some of it is about his work, some of it is about other things. Okay, this library thing also has a lot of graphic novels to get rid of. A lot of them I'm not interested in, but I'll always pick up anything that's Conan related. So this was A Witch Shall Be Born, and I've just read it after getting it the other day, and it's really good. Dark Horse. I mean, I know nothing about the years of publication of these. This one is 2017 in paperback. And it collects issues 20 to 25 of Dark Horse Comics Monthly Conan the Avengers series. Well, I read it, and it's really good. I read it in one of the quieter rooms of the house, if you know what I mean. So I want to check this particular. There's some particularly great images in this one. I like this. Nice artwork. So I have a bunch of these now, which I got all from the library, so it's good. As you all know, I'm big into Korean stuff, movies and TV. This was in the library, graphic novel of the movie Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. I mean, it's an okay movie. I mean, I don't not enjoy the movie. It's okay. It's obviously got points to make. It has got a great cast. It's not that I'm not. I mean, there's some of his work I'm ambivalent about. Bong Joon-ho. I like Snowpiercer, and I do like The Host. The Host was great. Parasite was okay. I'm not sure it's the. If people asked me to, hello, Canadian Spider-Man, good to see you. If someone asked me to recommend Korean movies, I wouldn't necessarily leap to recommend Parasite. Maybe just not my cup of tea, but it's interesting to get a graphic novel of it, though. You can make a graphic novel out of anything, obviously, because Parasite's like a domestic drama. So, however, given my penchant for Korean entertainment, I had to pick this up for a 0. It's a very interesting way it's laid out. It's the scenes where they're hiding under the coffee table. Yeah, not a bad movie, but not necessarily. I mean, I prefer The Host. In fact, I prefer Snowpiercer. But it did get a lot of attention for Korean entertainment, so that's fine. Now, every man should always be thinking about the Roman Empire. I know I do. There shouldn't be a day passes where you don't think about the Roman Empire. Very important. So this was in the library giveaway. Rome and Her Enemies, an empire created and destroyed by war. Edited by Jane Penrose, but introduction by Tom Holland, who's a very, very good author, history author. Look out for Tom Holland stuff if you've never read it. Like Rubicon. It says there, author Rubicon, The Triumph and Tragedy of the Roman Republic. Rubicon's a great book. Very, very interesting. So the Celta-Iberian city of Numantia was what is now Soria in Castile Leon. It's the first thing I read when I opened it. So that's... So if you want, it's a collection of... there's a lot of Celtic material. Oh, Boadicea, or however you pronounce that. I always call it Boadicea, but maybe she's... So, obviously, a very successful rebellion against the Romans at that point. So it breaks it down in timelines, the enemies and threats, also including the civil wars, legion against legion. So this looks good. Got a lot of books about the Roman Empire. I did read SPQR by Mary Beard. Brilliant. Did indeed. Very good stuff. I love it. Bodacious Boadicea. All my enemies are dead. They had it coming. So, I have no enemies. Rome has enemies. This was the real find, though. I have showed this off already on screen. This was in the library, and it wasn't part of the library. It wasn't marked as a library book, and it's in mint condition. This is the Solomon Kane anthology. The original Marvel years. What a beauty. Great movie, by the way. I mean, I'm a big fan of Robert E. Howard. I actually enjoyed the James Purefoy movie. Should have done better than it did. This is just unbelievably exciting. When I saw this, I thought, that's mine. I'm taking that. No one else is getting near it. I like the Solomon Kane film. In fact, I might do a live stream on it. So this is a fantastic anthology of those of this. The Marvel, when Marvel was making good stuff, the Marvel Solomon Kanes. Let's just open that up, show some of the stuff inside it. Moon of Skulls, Part 3. So this looks awesome. Obviously, some's black and white, some's colour. See if I can find a nice colour panel. Oh, there you go. One of the covers. So this was just... couldn't believe it. I mean, this is $127 Canadian new. I get it for like the equivalent of $1. I'm a Scotsman, what can I say? Right. So it was first run was 85, 86. So I think that was the first run. This was also there. This was in the library collection. This is quite good. Star Trek Vault. 40 years from the archives. This is going to be a little bit tricky to show off on screen. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this one before. All 8 of you in the chat. So what it has got is, as well as being a book, it's actually got a bunch of stuff that is collected inside it that you can actually pull out. So if you take that page there, you can pull stuff like this out of it. So there's a bunch of things tucked inside flaps, as it were. Lots of stuff here about effects, characters. So if I move to this page, you'll see what I mean. If you look at this page here, now into the Enterprise series, you've got these kind of additional items tucked away in little compartments. This is original drawings, I guess. Stuff like this. So actual technical drawings. So that's kind of neat, you know, a lot of neat stuff. Oh. Trying to get the camera to focus. So, I don't know. I mean, these are some neat stuff in here, so I'm looking forward to looking through that. Not new. It's been obviously been read a few times. There may even be missing stuff. Oh, look at this. This is neat. It's got a Star Trek colouring book. Question is, has anyone coloured it? No. So one day if I'm bored, one day, I can do something with that. So anyway, that was all the books. Let's move on to the movies. First of all, the first movie I picked up. Again, these are virtually all of them just free, just a donation, really. This is called the Emerald edition of A Christmas Carol, the 1951. I'm waiting for Shatner's toupee to fall out of there. That if I was the editor, that would have been in there. A Christmas Carol, the 1951 Alistair Sim version. One of the best, I guess. Seen it so many times here and there. So let's have a quick look at the trailer. Oh, helps if I press the right button. Also known as Scrooge. Retitled A Christmas Carol later.
I can't pay you, sir.
I'm not surprised.
Not unless you give me more time.
Did I ask you for more time to lend you the money?
Oh,
Great.
no,
Alistair
Why did you
Sims,
ask me
such
for
a
more
good
time to pay
actor.
it back?
Hard and sharp as flint he was. You ask Bob Cratchit about him. This timid and intimidated little clerk is portrayed by Mervyn John. Mrs. Cratchit by Hermione Baddeley. The little lame boy, the great-hearted Tiny Tim, is played by Glyn Dearman. Michael Horden gives a spirited portrayal
the
of
great
Jacob
Michael
Marley,
Horden.
the ghost who changes Scrooge from sinner to saint. Co-starring with Alistair Sim in delightful character roles are Jack Warner and Kathleen Harrison.
They're delightful.
Don't be violent, Mr. Scrooge, sir. You forced me to scream for the beadle.
The beetle, madam. A fig for the beetle.
A guinea? Here, what for?
What do you think?
Absurd to be so happy.
The 1951 Scrooge Christmas Carol. A pretty stacked cast when you consider it had Alistair Sim, but also in Michael Horden, George Cole, who went to be in Minder, various other shows. Even Steed himself. Patrick McNee is in it in a role. So 1951. If you've never seen it, well, I mean, it is obviously shows its age. It's an old black and white British movie, but still a great version. So this was this Emerald edition. It's quite nice to get to get this. It has got, as well as the movie, a booklet about the movie, which I always like when they have that kind of thing. Restored. So it was restored from the 1951 version, editing together multiple film prints to get the best quality left that they could. At the time, the movie was 54 years old, and it's amazing what you have to do to fix a film like that. So yeah, great little booklet about it. Even some trivia, which is nice. So that was a nice find. Classic, as it were. It was grim. It's not a fun movie. You think It's a Wonderful Life is grim. This is. So that was the first one I got. Now, I've always been an enormous Blade Runner fan. I got a Blade Runner poster up in the back. And I have multiple versions already. I've got the 4-disc DVD version, and I've got the 4K and Blu-ray. I don't have this 2-disc special edition final cut. So I always like to pick up different versions of this movie when I can. So it's in a good sleeve, and unfortunately, if there was ever a booklet in it, it ain't there anymore. But there's no such thing as a final cut of Blade Runner. Ridley Scott will keep recutting that movie forever. I actually like the theatrical version with the talkover and everything, the narration. I don't mind it. But yeah, I'll always pick up extra copies of Blade Runner if I can. I'm a yay for the voiceover. I see nothing wrong with it. I even like the fact they used cut out footage from The Shining at the end when they're driving up. him and what's her name, Sean Young, are driving away to wherever. It's really cut out from The Shining. I like it. I mean, they had some of that unicorn stuff in it. So anyway, always worth having multiple copies of Blade Runner. I have a copy of this digitally, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick this up. One of the finest television shows of modern times, Chernobyl. Always make sure you're wearing good underwear when there's a nuclear accident, because Chernobyl fallout. Otherwise, it's a terrible adaptation of an old Scottish joke. So, yeah, Kingdom of Heaven is a good movie. I agree. I didn't get the Korean version. There probably is a Korean version. I've run a couple of sites like Yes Asia where you can buy Korean stuff, but some of it's English language movies, but in Korean. So this is, I'm sure you've all seen Chernobyl, and we did a lot of streams about it at the time it was out. What a gripping show. Brilliantly written and acted, frightening, but also such heroism and bravery. If you've never seen Davina, you must watch this show. As I say, it's one of the best television shows of modern times. In fact, there would be a good argument for me calling it the best show of recent times. And it's certainly one of the best of all time, in my opinion. Gripping stuff. Absolutely gripping. Yeah, Korea. So if you go to Yes Asia, is one site I use. It's got fantastic sets, both of Korean not only Asian movies like Korean, Chinese, or whatever. It's got brilliant Hollywood and European movie sets that you can't get here, released for that market. So, well worth it. Yes. Anyway, Chernobyl. It's nice to get a physical copy of that, just in case Fallout ever destroys digital copies, nuclear fallout. So this, I'm assuming, is just videos. I thought I'll pick it up for free. I mean, I've got all this stuff. It's not like this stuff is hard to get. It's all on YouTube anyway, even if you don't have it on other things. I guess if I ever wanted to have like stick it on as a kind of a jukebox thing, I could. The interesting one in there is Peter Greed's Splinter Group's version of Albatross, because I saw that band when Peter Green was trying to get back into playing live in latter years before he died. So I saw that performance live. Anyway, nice little collection of stuff. Like Eric Clapton, that's peak, whatever it is, it's peak. More classic rock music. This was the Jimmy Plays Berkeley. This title's a lie. I watched the whole thing and he doesn't play a song called Berkeley once. But anyway. May 30th, 1970. With some interesting stuff. So it's got the original documentary, an audio only presentation of the complete second set, mixed 5.1 surround. So well worth having, really, I think, for nothing. And it does contain the requisite booklet, which I love so much. Yeah, this was the one with Billy Cox on bass, I think. So it got a little booklet. Never heard of Status Quo. Come on, Yeakley. You're joshing me because you know I love them so much. Who do they sound like? They sound like the Quo. I would play them, but we'll get copyright thingied. Not that I make any money on YouTube anyways. Who do the Quo sound like? I'll play 3 seconds of the Quo. I'll flip forward. That's peak Quo right there. 1974, Down Down. Chugging along. Best boogie band ever. They boogie till they puke. The Quo, just a great band. Well, they were. I mean, it's obviously time's gone by. A version of them still exists. More music stuff that was getting given away. It's funny. So, Metallica live with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Michael Kamen, who's a great composer. He's done a lot of movies. Did the great Edge of Darkness soundtrack with Eric Clapton. 2.5 hour S&M concert. So there's obviously a lot of whipping going on during this one. And a documentary and some other stuff. It's funny because Nick, Visor, Pope, Piritus, a bunch of us have started a new channel called Bonded by Metal. And we recorded our first video. I mean, it's just getting tweaked right now to get published. And we all had to come up with three choices of albums we hate by bands we love. Now, I can't say I've ever loved Metallica, but I did have an album I hated by them. At least I admired them in the first 5 or 6 albums. Well, they were one of the big four. I mean, they were great in their day. So I picked a Metallica. I picked Saint Anger, and then somebody else picked Load. So we were all dumping on Metallica. It was quite an interesting show. There was a lot of shitting on Metallica in this show. However, this, oh God, it's got a lot of load and reload on it, unfortunately. But anyway, I mean, I've picked that up for nothing, so I can't really complain. It doesn't have whiskey in the jar, so what's the point? Sounds a little bit like Sweet. Oh no, the Sweet could boogie a bit, but the Quo were hardcore boogie, and ultimately were, you know, significant levels of popularity and success beyond Sweet, because Sweet didn't last that long, really. Contemporaries, though. Well, Status Quo had their first hits in the mid-60s, and Pictures of Matchstick Men, which was a hit in the US. Very different sound. That was called psychedelia. Later on, they dropped all that and went for a blues-based R&B boogie type thing, heavy rock style. So they were going from the early 60s, and still, as I say, still going in some form or other today. It's only really Francis Rossi, the lead guy, that's still around. Others are all either out of the band or deed. They opened Live Aid, which was 2 days away from its 40th anniversary. They opened the Wembley part with Rockin' All Over the World. They were that popular, so chosen to open Live Aid. Napster bad. So this is the first of 2 Fritz Langs I picked up. This is Metropolis. It's the Metropolis with 25 minutes of restored footage of Metalliboobs. It's the 2010 restoration. So I've got a digital copy of this, but I didn't have this physical copy, so this is good. Obviously a seminal movie in many ways. There's a lot of seminality about it. So as well as the discs, the complete Metropolis, there is some notes about it in the required booklet. I like the hairdryer. Keep her cool, I guess. Yeah. She was getting a bit sweaty in there. So it is a classic. I'm glad I have a physical copy of it now. And it is the restored 2010. Plus a documentary, so that's nice. I have multiple copies of this already, but I always pick up extra copies of Python so I can send them to you guys and members. I can send them to channel members when I send them stuff. So it's always good to send Python. The gift of Python. Ah, Dr. Jones. Hello, sir. Is that the Kino? Yes, it's the Kino. So Dr. Jones has a good channel. And he interviewed a very interesting guy. That 70s rock fan, I believe is his name. And the channel is The Rock Avenue. Or is that the show? And the channel is Dr. Jones. Hang on. I'm going to get that wrong because I got a terrible memory. But we had a lovely chat. He's an exceptionally good interviewer. Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to show this on screen. So everybody go give him a sub, and I'll drop a link. So this was his interview with me, and we talked a little bit classic rock, important classic rock stuff to me. Let me copy that, post a link, go sub to our friend Dr. Jones. Link is in the chat. Check that. We had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to talking to him again, and you'll get him on some of our shows on this channel. So it was a lot of fun to just sit and chat about music. Hide that on stream. There we go. So anyway, Life of Brian, always worth having extra copies. Also, The Meaning of Life. That's not the first copy of the 2-disc special edition I have, but as I say, members may receive these in the post. That's a little bonus. And talking of bonuses, they always have such great bonus features on these special editions of Python movies. This one has educational tips to prepare you for life in the real world. On the film to John Cleese, a new trailer for the John Cleese version of the film. So that's like, the Snyder version, Snyder cut, the John Cleese cut. So, Meaning of Life. Every sperm is sacred. I can't say I've ever been the biggest, hugest fan of this movie, but to pick up a copy for free, it was fine. Napoleon Dynamite. I'm not sure what everybody else thinks about it. It was okay. Some people absolutely rave over it. He does have a good throw. I'll give him that. Yeah, it's okay. For free. This is a good movie, though. Out of the Furnace. If you've never seen that one. Great cast. I mean, Harrelson, Affleck, Bale in the lead, obviously. Forrest Whitaker, Willem Dafoe. Pretty damn good cast. So that was nice to get a physical copy of that. I don't know if Monty Python's Flying Circus ever did receive a complete set. I've got them all on digital, every season on digital. I just don't have physical of the show. I think they did in the end. I think there is physical sets of the complete thing. Because there was only about 5 seasons, really, wasn't there? Planktoon, or Platoon. Obviously, Oliver Stone, one of his best-known works. Pretty masculine, like a lot of his stuff. I mean, he did learn at the feet of John Milius, or is this Tropic Thunder? It's either Platoon or Tropic Thunder. It's one or the other. So, the special edition, I love it. It's a special edition, but really, marketing. There's a couple of trailers. This was quite interesting. This is the Police. Every Breath You Take collection of their music videos, plus some early old Grey Whistle Test appearances, and some live stuff from Montserrat. I was, and still am, a huge fan of the Police. First saw them in 1978 before Roxanne was even a hit. But even then they were creating a lot of buzz, and it was just, I saw them a few times after, just magnificent. Brilliant, it brings back a lot of great memories from going to Police gigs in the late 70s, early 80s. The old Grey Whistle Test stuff on here, which is on YouTube. You'll see it Can't Stand Losing You and Next to You, which was the closing track on their first album. Really punky. Just kick-ass stuff. Loved it. But I love live. I mean, you see stuff like Walking on the Moon live, and Bed's Too Big Without You, and just such an atmosphere they created. Really good. Very, I love the Police. Never been that fond of Sting on his own, but Robin Hood Men in Tights. Enough said. There's an HBO special, Robin Hood Men in Tights. So I'll have to watch that one. Had it on digital, but I didn't have this. It's just a bare bones plain copy. Some stuff in it. It's Mel Brooks was not at his peak. I think he was starting to go down. So, you know. Gordon Sumner. So this is Sicario, Day of the Soldado. I'm a big fan of Sicario, and this movie's pretty good too. Taylor Sheridan involved, of course. That's a fairly impactful movie, both of the Sicarios. So. I have the 2008 reunion discs, and I did see them on that tour, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And they finished with Next to You, funnily enough. This was quite neat. This is the Ultimate Collection Tarantino. I have all of these anyway, but it's always worth picking up a collection like this, I find. I'm assuming it's meant to look like this and isn't just dirty from sitting on a shelf. So when you open this up, you got Reservoir Dogs with a disc, Pulp Fiction with the disc, Jackie Brown, my favorite. Jackie Brown is my favorite Tarantino. Sorry, everybody. That's the one. Look at that couple. What a brilliant, brilliant love story that was. Kill Bill Volume 1 with the late, great Michael Madsen. Kill Bill Volume 2. Death Proof. So so here's a story. So I do my shorts every day for my single from my vinyl collection. I'll move on to albums later. One of them was Dave D. Dozy, Beaky McIntitch, Legend of Xanadu. Only when looking up Dave D. Dozy, Beaky McIntitch did I realise that they actually had a song on the Death Proof soundtrack. The song is Hold Tight, which for obvious reasons is a good song for that movie, given the car chase and the hanging onto the car. So Dave D, British cheesy 60s pop group Dave D. Dozy, Beaky McIntitch made it to the Death Proof soundtrack with Hold Tight, which is a great freak beat number, if you'll ever listen to it, with brilliant psychedelic guitar, freaky guitar. So that's the not a bad collection, you know. Death Proof was pretty boring, I have to say. It was like, how long is this car thing going to go on for? The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Come up to the lab and let's see what's on the slab. Coming. I've seen this live. So I've obviously seen the movie multiple times, but I saw the stage show live, and it was the 20th anniversary UK tour, and it wasn't Tim Curry, but it did have some of the original cast in it. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I've always liked Rocky Horror. Up duty, bless my soul. I really love your rock and roll. Written by the great Richard O'Brien. Susan Sarandon when she was cute. So always great to have a copy of that. Funnily enough, I never had a physical copy of Tommy the movie until now. Again, I had only a digital copy. This is a movie we're definitely going to be doing on the show sometime, because try to intersperse movies about music or based on music. So it's obviously Ken Russell's interpretation of Tommy, although the Who were quite happy to go along with it, I think. So great cast. Some fantastic actors and actresses on this. And some interesting performances. Obviously, Elton John's Pinball Wizard is one of the ones that make it different from the original album. By the way, if you ever want to hear an album in spectacular sound, listen to the quadraphonic version of Tommy on Super CD or whatever it is. I got it down there, SACD, whatever. If you've got the right equipment, unbelievable. Did you enjoy having wieners thrown at your face? I throw the wieners. I throw the wieners. This was a nice pickup for zilch money. Walk the Line. Joaquin Phoenix, Reese Witherspoon. The 2-disc DVD collector's edition was being given away. So I picked that up. It's in the slipcase. And then inside the slipcase, there's another case. Question is, does it contain the postcards? That's a nice picture. I thought Joaquin did a good job. Yes, well, it has got some of the postcards. And such an iconic set of images of Johnny Cash. Someone who truly could be called iconic. That word gets used far too often. Doesn't just mean famous people. Yeah, so the cards are in here. So that was nice to get the postcards that could easily, in a set like this, have been discarded. Not a bad movie. I quite enjoyed it. I always love watching movies about the old rock and roll guys, the Sun Records era, Hank Williams, that kind of, and the Hank Williams stuff, the old 50s and 60s country and rock and roll stuff. Love it. The Judy Cox story was better. I smell shit. I can smell it. So not a bad set, I have to say, for zilch dollars. It's not all about the money, of course, but this is part of this project of restoring my physical media collection, is to do it largely through thrift and other library sales, church sales, thrift, stuff that are people, garage sales, stuff that people are just discarding. Okay, we're getting to the last three. This was a nice one to pick up. The Weird Al Show, the complete series. So, hey, Tim, good to see you. So this was a really, really nice pickup. I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching these, because I've seen some of them, but not all of them. DVD set, but I don't care. Looking pretty good. Nicely packaged. Spread amongst 3 discs. Which is interesting because it talks about disc 1 and disc 2. It doesn't say what's on the other disc 3. It does say what's on disc 3. So, lots of great guests on these. Terry Garr, R.I.P. Terry. Bill Mummy, Alex Trebek, David Bowie, he died, but Michael McKean, Emo Phillips, the Bare Naked Ladies. I've never felt so disappointed the first time I saw the Bare Naked Ladies and I didn't know who they were. It was at a festival and there was no ladies and nobody was bare naked. I do love a good package. Al Gets Rob, Dick Clark, Dr. Demento. Interesting. Anyway, not a bad set, eh? Posers. Oh, you know what's funny? Oh, I'm going to go back to that. Sorry. Just reminded me when I think I saw Tiny Tim mention. Oh, that's the cool. Here we go. So, it just reminded me. So I was looking at this. We looked at this trailer for A Christmas Carol earlier, Scrooge, from 1951, and you know, obviously one of the characters in it is Tiny Tim Cratchit. So it said, people that are mentioned in this video: Tiny Tim, American musician, Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I don't think it's the same Tiny Tim, but I think perhaps YouTube's taking that one a little too literally. Right, okay, controversial, 2 left, controversial pick. I actually really, really love this movie, Waterworld. A lot of people, it obviously didn't do well, and people mock Kevin Costner. Certainly ain't no postman. I think Waterworld is a fabulous movie. So, bite me. Come on, Dennis Hopper is Dennis Hopper, Deacon. Brilliant. I love Waterworld. I have a lot of time for this movie. So yeah, I had a digital copy. I didn't have this. It's just a bare bones. I got it because it was zilch. I'd like to get a proper special edition of it. And the final one, we had Metropolis earlier. We have Fritz Lang's Woman in the Moon. As we know, there might be a woman in the moon because there's a secret Nazi base there, but on one side, the aliens are on the other side. So this is 2 years after Metropolis. I'm going to be brutally honest, I've never seen this, despite my love of science fiction. Well, if I have, it might have been on some Saturday morning thing in the 60s, where I watched a bunch of stuff as a kid because it was cartoons, and then they showed old movies in black and white and silent stuff. It's a fantastic movie to fall asleep to. I don't need anything to fall asleep these days. The minute my head hits the pillow. It's grounded in state-of-the-art astrophysics. Newly restored from 35mm archival elements, this edition includes more footage than any version previously seen in the US. That's another Kino as well. So, historical oddity. I may stick it on sometime and just say, hey, let's have a look. That was it. Not bad, given that lot probably only cost me about $15 collectively, so including the books. Any favourites in that one? The China Show. I don't watch the China Show. I gotta look it up. The China Show. Is it on YouTube or is it just? Me old China. All right, the China Show. Okay, I've seen some of these being suggested to me in the past. Not the Bloomberg China Show, the China Show. So let me just call that up. China, yeah, I actually have seen this. China's buildings are falling down, yeah. I do watch a bunch of that stuff, Asian-related stuff. I'm more of a Korean guy, as you know. So that's the China Show. I have seen the China's buildings one. But yeah, I mean, I'm more into the... And I'm not really into the current events. I'm more into just the entertainment. I do watch a lot of Chinese shows and movies. Some of them are fantasy stuff. Some of it's spectacular. Yeah, it was a good haul for the price. How do I get rid of this? Oh, there we go. Actually, no, I'm going to show. So, just wanted to say before we go, obviously, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. I am doing every day. So, my latest video, for those who are into, anyone who's even mildly interested in my channel, Latest video was another Korean show, Tastefully Yours. Nice little K-drama romance on Netflix. I did do a Squid Game 3 review. I've got lined up a review of another Netflix K-drama, but this time much more brutal than Tastefully Yours, Mercy for None. So look out for that one. And I'm now watching a Korean show which is turning out to be absolutely brilliant. It's called 9 Puzzles. So there will be a review of that coming. Now, as I keep saying, Disney Plus may make an absolute load of shite in the West. Their Korean output is phenomenal. Some of my favorite shows, Korean shows of all time, and shows of all time have been at Disney Plus in Korea. So this is one called 9 Puzzles, starring Son Soo-koo, amongst other people, of course. Kim Dami is the girl. Son Soo-koo is she's a profiler, but was involved in murder. Her parents and uncle were murdered years ago, and she was a suspect. And she's now working with the policeman who was investigating her at the time, because she's now a police officer, profiler. He's the detective. It is, if you like crime thrillers, procedural stuff, psychological and profiling stuff, it's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I don't think Disney Plus in Korea has anything or wants anything to do with... it's more of a Hulu thing at one point, I think. But it's a phenomenal show. The 9 puzzles being every time there's a murder, the girl gets sent a piece of a 9-piece jigsaw puzzle with the murder portrayed on it. So I don't want to show the trailer in case we get whatever, but it's and it's got some very well-known Korean actors in cameos. There's some very ingenious murders in it. And she's a very engaging character because she's not autistic, but she's a little bit like that. She doesn't get emotional, and she's quite analytical but quite cheeky with it. So she's nice. So that's 9 puzzles. As I say, Tastefully Yours was my latest one, but every day I do shorts. And I'd love it if you guys could watch them. Every day I do a short of a piece of vinyl from my record collection. Nothing fancy about them. I don't do all TikTok-y stuff. So it's just me holding a record talking about it. So I've yet to do today's, which will be the Eagles' Please Come Home for Christmas. The Brother's Son, good one. So that's so we're still ticking away there on the channel. Next live show will be on Monday. Will be Baldur's Gate 3 again, because I don't have a great deal of bandwidth to prep something for Monday. So I'm going to do a gaming stream, just chat like this. The following Monday, we're going to do a Live Aid show. I know Live Aid anniversary is this weekend. I'm going to do that the following Monday, the 21st. The 28th right now is possibly going to be about the movie Back to the Beach. So, and then I'm going off on a short holiday, so there may not be a Monday show the week after. So that's what's coming up tonight. Later on tonight, I'll be on Ascendant Art. In fact, for those of you, and many of you do, but for those of you who don't, again, I'll show you this on the stream. Ascendant Art channel, Friday night, me, Little Chad, Brahma, Imperatus, Slender Dad, Madkismo, we hang out on here, have a bit of a laugh, have some fun, maybe even play a little bit of a multiplayer game or two. So subscribe to Ascendant Art. It's fun bunch of guys, fun channel. I'm not just saying that because I'm on it. That's my Friday evening go-to. And then Stone Loki afterwards if we've got time. So there we have it. I thank you all for joining me for this latest romp through the physical media collection. I hope you all have a great Friday, have a great weekend. Streamlabs has given me a couple of these. I don't know if Streamlabs has ever done that to me before. That's kind of weird. Like, is it Streamlabs? Streamlabs? I hope so, because I'm a big Streamlabs user. Streamlabs and Talk Studio. So if that's Streamlabs, and not my bot, that I'm very pleased to see you. It's probably the bot though. I don't know. I don't know. I had a bot set up to do that, so it probably is the bot. Anyway, yeah, have a great Friday. Thank you everyone for joining me here. Thank you for your continued support of the channel. Thank you to Davina for modding. We also had Canadian Spider-Man in the chat. He was a mod. I will see you all again soon. So till next time, stay well. As they say in Korean, Joe, stay well. Don't skip your meals. Live your best life. I don't think the Streamlabs stuff's coming from Rumble. It's my bot. Streamlabs bot that posts links. So stay well. Don't skip your meals. Live your best life. And Yonggi Gaseo. One of the bits of Korean I know.